Many people will ask, what should I self-host? This seems to be one of the more common questions and threads you see on Reddit. I feel like every third day someone's like, hey man, I just got into servers. I'm really liking it. I want to know what else I can do. I think that's a great question. I love the enthusiasm. So if you're one of those people that's thinking, man, I really like what I have going, but I want to do more, where do I even learn about what can I host? It's not like Google where there's an app store. Except there kind of is. So there's a couple places that you're going to want to check out to see what's going on. First off, if you guys don't know what Docker Hub is, I'm going to recommend you go to Docker Hub. This is one of the, I didn't even think about explaining this, but Docker Hub's got like a million things on here. This is a really easy way just to search for things. But there's also some cool categories here to help you search a little bit. So there's some pretty cool things on Docker Hub. This is not what I use. The first thing I'm going to recommend you do is if you're on TrueNAS, go over your apps, click your Discover Apps button, and then I want you to click Refresh Catalog up here. It's already at 149. I was actually thinking about doing this video a couple days ago, and it was at 146. So once I click Refresh Catalog and I've got my available apps up here, I'm going to want to click this button that says Show All. So now this is going to give me a list of all the apps right now that already have ports from Docker into the TrueNAS catalog, mostly under the community tag. And that's fine. That's no problem at all. I will tell you that they have to be, there's kind of a middleman here if you go this way. So if you go and you pick any one of these things out here, somebody has to take it from Docker and convert it so it could be used inside of TrueNAS. You're not getting anything in terms of like addition or loss usually, but it might be a day or two behind the Docker Hub image update. So if, so you see Radar, you open up Radar, for example, it might say, hey, there's an update available, but TrueNAS is not telling you there's an update. That's because whoever is converting it from the lscr.io image to the TrueNAS one hasn't actually done the update yet. So you sometimes might be a day or two behind. But there's some really cool stuff here. And one of the reasons I kind of like this catalog is sometimes it makes my life easier. If you're a beginner, for example, and you want to learn how to pass your GPU into, let's say, like maybe MB. Let's come back up here a little bit into MB, right? It's not that if you use the Docker Compose, it should be just a line or two and shouldn't be that difficult, but you have to know how to modify your Docker Compose for iGPU versus your dedicated GPU. We don't have that problem down here. If you had a GPU for NVIDIA, you just see a little checkbox down here that says pass through NVIDIA GPU and whatever GPU you're using. It's that easy. So I kind of like this for that reason, GPU configuration being one of them. But there's another thing that I kind of like it for, and I'm going to tell you a secret here. A lot of people have asked me about Firefly, and specifically the Firefly data importer. And I will be the first to admit, when I've tried to deploy Firefly via the Docker Compose file, I've never gotten the importer to work at all. It just has not gone well for me. But somebody showed me this the other day when I did the video. If you have Firefly 3 and you want to use the data importer, you just got to check this box. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome because every time I try this with Docker Compose, it does not work at all. So once you check this box, it's supposed to be able to enable the importer. I think that's really amazing that TrueNAS has some simplicity like that that I really like. So that's one way to do things. And that's a great way to discover some more apps that maybe you didn't know about just by clicking that show all button. Scroll down. There's some really cool things here that also will explain things. Like I've done a video on Mealy before, but if you didn't know what Mealy was, like there's some cool screenshots here, and that's all right. But it also usually has cool descriptions. Mealy is a self-hosted recipe manager and meal planner. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of other things here. I just recommend you guys explore if you're in the kind of place you're like, hey, I like what I have and I want to go up more. Um, I think that's really great. There's some really, really cool things here. I've done some videos on before, but there's also things I haven't even begun to do videos on yet, like Olama, for example, and Open Web UI. These are the next videos that are coming. This is how to run local AI. So these things are coming in similar apps here. Here's a cool screenshot of what Open Web UI looks like. This is the website front end for the Olama engine for running your own local GPTs. So yeah, really cool. And this tells you exactly what it is. It's a user-friendly AI interface. So this is another video that's coming up. I just wanted to tease that a little bit. So that's really fun. But I want to show you guys an even bigger repository. If you're using apps and all you want to do is use the apps category, you'll only ever be limited to this 149 list and then as they expand it slowly. But because we can install via YAML or you guys can use Dockage, any Docker Compose file is open to you, and that leaves you open to over a million different apps. So where do we find these apps? Welcome to Awesome Self-Hosted. I'm going to link this in the video description. This is an amazing place that is very, if you don't know about this, like Welcome, because this is really cool. So on the left side, you'll see everything is categorized. You can do a search directly for a container. And sometimes you might want to find other containers that are like that. So say, for example, I like Uptime Kuma, right? So I'm going to hit enter right here. Uptime Kuma. So if I click Awesome Self-Hosted here, oh, sorry, come back. Status uptime pages. So the category for uptime Kuma is considered a status slash uptime page. But what else is in the status uptime pages category? Look at all these other cool things. So, and I can see the GitHub stars right here. So really popular projects. Obviously, Uptime Kuma dominates this category, are also in this list if I was thinking about something like that. So this is a really cool thing. You can come here, you can search directly for things. Media streaming, for example, here's a great, cool category within Awesome Self-Hosted, and these are a whole bunch of media streaming platforms. So that's really cool. So this is basically like if you want to host your own media streaming, like PeerTube, for example, is the famous one. If you want to host your own version of YouTube, PeerTube is a really cool way to do that. So from here, I can go directly to their website. I can see their source code. I can see their GitHub stars. I can see the tag. Let's go right to their website just to show you guys. And this is the PeerTube website. So that's pretty cool. That's a really cool way to start discovering things. This interface is not the best per se. I actually like this one more. Some very kind human being has made a front end for the awesome self-hosted page because this page there's very limited things you can do here other than searching or looking by the categories. This allows us to do some cool things like filtering. So right now the sort is by original. But let's sort by popular. What's really popular right now? And I want to see only well-maintained things that are popular. And this is the source that it's coming from. So the most popular thing going on right now is Home Assistant. Big surprise. Coder, which is really cool. Sync thing is really popular. So this is a really easy way, Uptime Kuma, to look at things that are going on that other people may be hosting that they're finding really fun. You'll see a lot of common things in this list. Pi-hole, Ghost, this is what the blog is written on. So there's a lot of really cool stuff here. I think that's pretty amazing. We can do the same search here. So we can do, let's look at activity. Whatever it is, this has had a lot of updates. This is basically how many updates each of these projects are getting. Let's uncheck well maintained, but I kind of do want to keep well maintained. So let's do an original sort. Let's do a popularity sort. I'm going to search for something here. Let's look for Llama again because I'm kind of in the AI kick right now. That's cool. I don't even know what that is. Let me just try llama. That's cool. AI. Here's some AI stuff. Some of it's AI. But yeah, there's all kinds of cool things we can do here. So I really like this front end as well. I'm going to link this in the video description. But if you are kind of like, hey, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I think this is a great place to start. The Docker Hub is like this is the OG right here. Back in the day of how to like look at things, but I still find stuff on Docker Hub sometimes that I think are really cool. So I can look at, oh, that's cool. They have an AI catalog. See, everybody's got AI, man. So if I looked for Llama here, we'll see what, so this is all the basic Olama containers here, and there's all the different variations of it. The Alpine lightweight version. Look at this, man. 10 million plus pulls, 1.1K stars on GitHub. This is by, of course, the official Olama maintainers. This is the Docker Compose. This should be on here somewhere. GitHub. So this is going to kick me right out to the GitHub. Really cool. Here's the quick start. All the fun things. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff here. But if you're thinking about what to host, this is a really great way to just kind of start exploring what's out there if you didn't know this kind of thing was out there. So I'm going to put all this in the video description. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to say thank you, please buy me a coffee. Please also check out the Patreon channel. I'm putting a lot more content on there as well right now. That's going to be some of the most requested content as well as the content that YouTube wouldn't let me host. So if you're looking for something you haven't seen that's been highly requested, I would suggest reaching out and looking at the Patreon channel. I'll put a link in the video description to that. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting the channel, and I hope to see you in the Discord server.